Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This evening, we are going to look at IAS 23, borrowing costs. Borrowing costs are capitalized if the funds are borrowed specifically for a qualifying asset. To capitalize simply means the interest becomes part of the cost of the asset. So we are saying IAS 23, borrowing costs. Now we are saying that amounts that are borrowed specifically for the purchase, construction, of a qualifying asset. The borrowing costs are capitalized. That is very important to understand. Now, I want to explain a very important point. For capitalization to take place, there are three conditions which must be satisfied. Conditions. There are three conditions. Condition number one, expenditure. On the qualifying asset. Is being incurred. Number two, interest. Interests are being incurred. Three, the activities that are necessary to bring the asset into its condition for intended use or sale are in progress. The activities that are necessary to bring the asset into the condition for its intended use or sale are in progress. So there must be those three conditions in order to capitalize. Is that okay now? Good. So now we go to another part, which is also important, which we need to understand. Where the remainder of the loans are not used and therefore they can be invested temporarily before they are used. That is investment income. From temporary investment. Now, what we are saying is, for example, if you had funds borrowed for the purpose of construction, maybe amounting to $400 million or 400 million kwacha, but you only need 200 now. And then after 6 months, that's when you use the other 200. Therefore, you can invest temporarily before the amount of money is required for use. The investment income end can be deducted from the interest cost. And then the balance is the amount that should be capitalized. Is that okay? So we are saying investment income can be deducted from the interest cost. Is that okay now? Good. Now, there's another part that we need to understand that we are going to look at. This part is cessation of capitalization. Cessation of capitalization. When there's interruption in the preparation of the asset for more than 1 month, capitalization must be suspended. That's one. When there is interrupted or interruption of work for more than 1 month, capitalization must be suspended. Capitalization must be suspended. Another reason for cessation of capitalization is when all the necessary work is completed. Then capitalization must cease. Is that okay? Now, a very important point. During the interruption of production or work, the capitalization is ceased. The interest for that period should be expensed to P&L as finance cost. Is that okay now? Very good. So now we go to the calculation of the interest to be capitalized. Where there is a pool of funds to be used for general purpose of purchase of qualifying asset or construction of qualifying asset, there's a pool of funds. We should use the weighted average capitalization rate to be used. That is weighted average capitalization rate, which is calculated as follows. Interest A divided by funds with interest A plus total loans plus interest B divided by funds with interest B plus total loans. So that's how you calculate the weighted average capitalization rate to be used, where there is a pool of funds borrowed for a number of assets to be constructed or purchased which qualify. Is that okay now? Good. Now we are going to look at a question which is already on the screen there. Let's look at the question. Can clear the whiteboard. Okay. Now we have the question there. Outline 3 conditions for capitalization of borrowing costs to commence. So the conditions there, we have already looked at them, but we can still answer that question. So we have, that is number 1, conditions. That is point 1, expenditure. From the asset. Is being incurred. Number 2, borrowing costs are being incurred. Three, activities. For the preparation of the asset are in progress. So what we are saying is that these 3 conditions must be satisfied for capitalization to commence. Is that okay now? Good. So now we can go to, we are done with part 1 there, number 1. So we can go to number 2. Explain the accounting treatment of an investment income from temporary investment of borrowed funds. We have already explained that, but we can simply answer the question there. The question is, explain the accounting treatment of investment income from temporary investment of borrowed funds. Now, provided the activities on the preparation of the qualifying asset are in progress. The investment income can be deducted from borrowing costs incurred. So that is the accounting treatment for investment income from temporal investment of borrowed funds. Is that okay now? We are done with part 1 there. Part 2. Now we'll go to part 3. Under part 3, we can create some space there. Under part 3, we are told Musa add the following bank loans in issue during the year ended 31st December 2018. So it means there's a pool of loans there. 4% bank loan, 25. 3% bank loan, 50. Okay. Musa commenced the construction of an item of a qualifying non-current asset. That's qualifying non-current asset on 1 April 2018 using existing borrowings. 10. There is 10 million of expenditure was drawn on 1 June. That's when it was drawn. And 20 million was drawn on 1 August. So 10 million was drawn on 1 June, and the contract for the asset was completed on 30th September. So which means the one which was done on 1 June up to 30th November, that is 6 months. So capitalization should be for 6 months. And the one which was done on 1 August up to 30th November, this should be 4 months. Is that okay now? Yes. So now the first thing we need to do is to find out the weighted average capitalization rate as the part 1 to we're going to weighted average capitalization rate. I explained the formula there. The formula is interest at 1 loan, that is 4%, divided by the funds at 4%, plus the total loans, which is 75, plus interest at loan B, which is 3%, divided by funds with interest 3, which is 50, plus total borrowings, 75. Is that okay now? Then now total is 3.33%. The 10 million multiplied by 6 months, multiplied by 3.33, this will give us 1,000,066,000. Then for 20 million, multiplied by 4/12, multiplied by 3/3. This is 2,000,022,000. Total amount to be capitalized will be 3.8 800. So now the total assets, the cost of the asset will be total cost of the asset will be, we have loan used, which is how much? 10 million. The other loan used 20. That is 30 plus interest capitalized. This is 3.88. So the total amount there is 3.88. That will be the cost of the asset. So now calculate the amount of borrowing cost to be capitalized. We have actually calculated as part of the loan of the qualifying non-current asset. We have answered the question as is set by the examiner. For today, we can end here. Thank you for attending this class. And those who are watching, we say thank you for watching this video. God bless you.